Alright, I'm back with some more Kingdom Hearts. Gonna do the Daily 13, and assuming that doesn't take too long, I'll probably do the weekly gem quest. Here we go. And let me listen to the Final Fantasy Union podcast in the background.
This launched. This released. But we'll get to that. So we're predominantly going to be talking about World of Final Fantasy and Hiroki Jiba, who we love. Yay! But for you new folks, Final Fantasy Union is part of a podcast series called Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts Union, and is presented by the Gaming Union Network. We have a new show every Tuesday working in rotation with Kingdom Hearts Union, and we come out on the iTunes Store as well as FinalFantasyUnion.com. Yes, indeed. Indeed. And we're now going to go on to our Patreon shoutouts, and this is for everyone who has pledged $2.50 or more per episode. Are you ready to kick things off, Lauren?
I am so ready. So,
okay, go.
We have Barry Norton at Nortron Zero.
Lewis James.
Christian Burge.
Blue Machine at Blue Machine.
Chris Morales.
Eric Decker at Choco Taco.
Jonathan Gonzalez at Oh It's Just Johnny.
Josh McNabb at J2K9.
Michael Graham.
Thorin Bullen at Massacre23.
Zach Duranto at Zed Duranto 58.
William Tringo at Varnus Deersher.
Mike.
Dustin Smith.
Billy Jackson at _Billy Jackson.
Darren Matthews at Doomster73.
Joseph Robertson at Pokemon Trainer J.
Keith Field at The Mighty Keith.
Mario Herker.
Mike Shirley Donnelly at Curious Quail.
Mohammed Kayam.
Rachel Casterton at Urbi Unray.
Vitanitas.
Zelda Clone at Apes Type Novels.
Zach Porter at Porter Paradox.
John McRae.
Marcus Karnecki.
Miles Ribbons.
Richard Holman at Vex Lennon.
And yeah, that's it, everyone.
Yay!
Thank you so
Thank
much
you guys
for supporting
so much.
us.
Thank you. And like so many of you we've seen on like the Discord as well, which is great. It's fantastic to have you guys about.
And also the chat, the live streams that Lauren's doing on the
Yes,
YouTube channel.
when I
Yeah,
actually
just
get my
bust this
internet
out
to
really quick and
work.
I'll do it.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. And also,
so sad.
if you are listening, we have a new monthly giveaway winner. We said we were going to announce them on the podcast, so that's what we're going to do right now. So if you're listening, Simon Cooperman, you are the winner of this month's giveaway.
Yay!
Please check your Patreon messages.
Can we do like the whole thing on the radio where they go like honk, 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 like with the honking?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Maybe you have different radios.
They have like air horns. They have like air horns, right?
But they also have like buttons they can press in the radio station.
Yeah.
I can press your button.
I know. I've been pressed. Okay. I probably deafened everybody now.
That's good
I'll
work, Lawrence.
Stop.
Excellent work.
Yeah. But at least they are listening. At least I gripped their attention with my honking.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you made them.
Yeah.
Do something.
Catch their
Yeah. Hopefully not.
All right. Let's go.
Alright, I think we should move on to our main discussion topics.
I think so too.
Because generally when we do that, you stop clowning around and take things more seriously. And this is a serious podcast, Lauren.
Very seriously. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to be talking about World of Final Fantasy and the fact that it's going to be expanding. And this all kind of just came randomly out of the blue. Like, I don't think anyone was anticipating this at all, whatsoever. They literally, I think it was last week, last week for when you're listening to this now, it basically came out that they had announced a spin-off for World of Final Fantasy called World of Final Fantasy Melee Mellow, and it's going to be coming out on mobile phones. Surprise, surprise.
Exclusive in Japan.
Yeah, well, for now. But then, I mean, the ones that they've been releasing recently in Japan have not been releasing anywhere else. And to be honest, based on what's happened in the past, I mean, obviously we got Mobius, Record Keeper, and Brave Exvius. They took a while to come out.
Yeah.
I think Record Keeper was a year.
Took ages.
And, you know, we've just had Final Fantasy Legends 2 come out, I think it is. Or is it Legacy? One of the two.
Dimensions.
That's it. And that was like 3 years or like they basically
great.
like despite the fact that these games aren't that expensive for them to make, they basically don't see the value in releasing them anywhere outside of Japan.
I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like, I don't know how much mobile games are as...
But the localization can't be that expensive versus what they make. I mean, clearly Square Enix are saying, we're making a crap ton of money on these games, guys.
Yeah.
Let's just reinvest some of the Brave Exvius cash we're clearly raking in and maybe localize some of these games.
Yeah.
Maybe we could release Dissidia, whatever it's called, Opera Omnia, outside as a build-up to Dissidia NT, perhaps, like they did in Japan.
I mean, granted, like, I don't know much about, like, what it goes into resources for it. I don't know if they have to then have, like, some sort of resource management and have somebody manage that in, like, the different
Well, I think that's because obviously with the 3 that they did release, there's obviously the global version and the Japanese version. I think
they have to have
different teams.
Yeah.
But they're basically saying that they, like, surely the global version is going to make enough money to support that.
I hope so.
You'd think so, right?
I know. It's just crazy, like, how much Square Enix has been spread out, though. 'Cause, I mean, like, how many bodies do they have to run all the games that they...
A lot.
That they have.
That's what
like,
they've got,
I mean,
like,
the mobile games.
the 10 divisions
But
of
then
business,
on top
right?
of it, you have all of the Final Fantasy 14 people as well who are, like, switching out. And, like, yeah. So... I mean, I can kind of understand, like, they probably don't have enough bodies to sort of
I guess it's just that thing where it's kind of frustrating, and especially because they said that at the same time, well, the day after, I think it was, I mean, like, whenever they do this kind of stuff, it's always strange, because it gets, the games get announced in Famitsu,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and at the same time, they did, like, a mini interview, or was it the day after, one of the two, and they announced that there have been 800,000 copies sold of World of Final Fantasy, which they said made it like a really big success for them. Like, obviously they didn't put too much into development costs. So it was like a big success. But they highlighted the fact that they were really pleased about how well the game sold outside of Japan. So what do they do to celebrate? Release a Japanese exclusive mobile game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this has done so well globally. Let's just focus on one tiny island.
Where it didn't sell. I mean, it sold okay in Japan.
Yeah.
I think it sold...
Well, console games are not going so great in Japan at the moment.
I think I'm going to say 20% as the sales were in Japan.
Which I also still find so interesting that console sales are going down, if I'm honest. Because, like, you have so many problems with these people who just, like, kind of, like, stay in their houses all day long.
It's more the fact they
I guess those are more
games.
Are they more PC gamers than they are console gamers?
I think people just like the handhelds.
Even if they're like secluded people.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily stay in their homes. It's just that they don't really socialize. So a lot of them, they like socializing, but not kind of vocally. That makes sense, because I know that with the Monster Hunter, it's all about playing on trains, and on trains you're not allowed to talk.
Yeah, it's true.
So
you don't really encourage much social interaction, if I'm honest, because of the trains. But that's another story altogether.
I just thought that was really ironic, the fact that they highlighted the fact they were really pleased with the sales outside of Japan, yet they were releasing a Japanese exclusive mobile game to celebrate it.
Yeah, with no indication of localization at all. It is a shame. Like, I mean, I think this game looks really cute, and like they're, you know, you sort of ride on this hype train of announcing it, but then like if you announce it now when it's a Japanese exclusive, the hype is gonna die down by the time the English one comes out.
Obviously, part of the problem is that they didn't. This wasn't an announcement that was intended for the Western media.
No.
So they announced it in Famitsu, and then obviously the Western media pick up on it.
Yeah.
But they know that's going to happen.
Yeah, no. Like, there's, you know, people have eyes everywhere.
It's like, just because Square Enix's North American and European PR didn't announce this game, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be put out there. And like,
exactly.
And because of that, you get the whole mixed messaging. Like, I mean, like, it's a mobile game. And it's got some of the same characters, it's set in a different world, there's the same mechanics, but there's ambiguity. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's a spin-off, but you've got people saying it's a sequel to the original game, and it's like, but is it? Like, I don't think they've ever said that anywhere.
No.
I don't think they've ever really specified what it is, to be honest, apart from being a mobile game. And from what I've seen with how other games are treated, usually the mobile games are spin-offs.
And it doesn't really look like a sequel anyway. Like, who would it be following? It doesn't even seem like it's following Rain and
Well, they said that characters are going to be returning.
They are going to be in there.
Yeah, but it's going to be in a different world.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, like, I think Square Enix is still kind of stuck in the time with, like, let's make these games more Japanese exclusive, and then we'll make these games more globally accepted, when they just have to accept the fact that they are a global brand, and they have to kind of consider their global audience altogether.
Yeah, I think it's like also the fact that there are obviously a lot of Chinese exclusive games, but then the Chinese market's huge for that.
Yeah, you have like 1 billion people.
Yeah, and like I mean, it would be like I guess Square Enix North America saying, actually, guys, we're going to make our own mobile game.
A North American only game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just silly. I mean, I respect completely the fact that that is their home country, that's their home base. They love it. They whatever. Like I completely respect that. But like those kind of days are just, in my eyes, I find that those days are numbered.
Yeah, the Japanese sales are contributing less and less to the overall. I mean, obviously back in the day, you know, it was the case that Final Fantasy games were in their first week in Japan would sell millions. Whereas now we saw with Final Fantasy 15, it's only just managed to sell 1 million.
Yeah.
But we know that Final Fantasy 15 is sold over 6.5 million. It's probably closing on 7 now.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's gone from being, you know, like a quarter maybe of the sales of the game down to like a seventh or an eighth.
Yeah.
Like it's not as important a market anymore for Square Enix.
No.
And they said that, you know, when Square Enix was formed, they predicted that Japan would become less viable for them. They would have to expand to North America and Europe, which is why, you know, they go after those global audiences, which is why Spada was saying that he felt that Final Fantasy 15 was kind of the first global game that Square Enix Japan had made. But then they go and carry on just doing the same old. Like, how many Japanese exclusive mobile games have they put out?
I wonder.
And that's not to say that I necessarily want them to be releasing more mobile games. It's more the fact that it's just it's that extra barrier.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, with Kingdom Hearts. How long did it take for them to release Kingdom Hearts Key in the West? And then it wasn't even the fact they released the same game.
They released a like different type of game. It's like with the Final Mixes as well. They never released the Final Mixes. They didn't do anything until Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix. Like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, maybe they have something with their investors. Like maybe it's a rooted problem with like their investors just wanting exclusives and that kind of thing. But either way, I mean, like, I'm happy still that we're getting this, and I'm happy that Hiroki Chiba is getting like another sort of stab with the director's chair as well. I'm a very, very small portion of the way through the game at the moment, but
really?
I'm really enjoying it. I think the humor is
one time
fun,
it doesn't work
the
me back.
characters are cute,
Yeah.
and maybe we will get a mobile, maybe we will get this over in the West.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that obviously it sold 800,000 copies, considering what was happening when it released, obviously it was supposed to come out after Final Fantasy 15. It was supposed to ride that crest of enthusiasm. It ended up coming out before. There were lots of people that, you know, we asked on Twitter a couple of times, like, if you had to buy one, which would you buy? Obviously, most people would say Final Fantasy 15. It's the game they've waited for 10 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, not everyone's in that situation where you can buy 20 games every year or whatever. Like, some people can only buy a couple. And, you know, if you have a choice between World of Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy 15, you take Final Fantasy 15.
Exactly.
Like,
and
it's a no-brainer.
To be honest, Final Fantasy 15 sort of killed two games in that. It killed Type 0, and then it killed World of Final Fantasy.
And I think, like, you know, with the scenario I just said, where you might only have a finite amount of games you can get, it may have been the case that Final Fantasy 15 like, really inspired you. You really wanted to get back in the franchise, and then you were like, yeah, I really want to get World of Final Fantasy now. But it's unlikely it would have happened the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you were going to get Final Fantasy 15, but you wouldn't have thought, oh yeah, I'm going to get World of Final Fantasy before that now to get me psyched up for it.
Yeah, like it's a completely different type of experience.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's another story.
But either way, I mean, maybe that's why they think it's such a good success, because of the scenario they encountered when they released it.
Yeah.
So obviously the mobile game is being outsourced, but it's being looked after by Hiroki Chiba, as Lauren said. He's kind of returning to make sure that it's being overseen correctly. But it's also being dealt with in Shinji Hashimoto's BD3, who I think that's where World of Final Fantasy was developed in the first place. I don't know how many members of BD3 are actually going to be involved outside of Hashimoto and Chiba, but I'm sure there's going to be some.
Yeah.
But the thing they said at the end of the interview was that because of what they've seen with the sales and how kind of receptive they were, they are looking to expand the franchise further outside of Melly Mellow, which to me is like super positive.
Yeah, like maybe we will actually get like a proper sequel at some point, or
I don't know what they
something.
call it though. World of Final Fantasy 2?
World of Final Fantasy 2.
That doesn't seem like the most appealing of titles. I mean, like to me, and you may disagree with how but I know based on just what you've played as well, you already just were saying it's Kingdom Hearts. Like it has such a Kingdom Hearts vibe about it.
It does.
Because it's that kind of
It's the Kingdom Hearts I wanted.
Yeah, they've created a new world. Obviously, it doesn't have the Disney in there, but it's got the really cutesy art style, or the two cutesy art styles.
Oh
really.
my gosh,
It has
so cute.
Final Fantasy characters appearing in fun ways throughout the story. It had a unique universe they made. It's just the fact that I think what sold Kingdom Hearts was the Disney aspect.
I know.
And World of Final Fantasy doesn't have that. All it has is the Final Fantasy aspect. And I don't think they've really done enough to obviously Kingdom Hearts, like you've got Donald and Goofy and you've got Mickey and you've got the other Disney things, but Sora is still extremely popular. Like they did such a good job with pushing Sora, Riku, and Kairi.
The three of them. I mean, Churro just posted about how he went to go get a Funko Pop. The Funko Pop Kingdom Hearts characters just came out. They're completely sold out of Riku, and I think maybe Kairi as well. Like,
I mean, obviously in the first game, Riku wasn't that big. He became bigger as it went on.
Well, I mean, I still think he was quite big.
But like like he was positioned more of like an antagonist. Whereas I feel like with World of Final Fantasy, they've done literally nothing to try and grow Rain and Lan.
Yeah.
Like they really focused on the fact it was the other characters and they've done. I think they did a decent job trying to position Tama as a kind of mascot. With the outside of things, but you know, they could have done a lot more to push it. But again, when it came out, it wasn't in their best interest to push World of Final Fantasy. Like it didn't make sense for them as a business. Like they didn't want to. There are too many things happening at the same time.
Such a shame. But like then at the same time, you just think about the fact that at least it did sell 100,000 copies. Like, it's such a good thing that it actually did sell that.
I guess my concern is that if they do go for a sequel, and they do, like, let's say this is called World of Final Fantasy 2, Hiroki Chiba comes back to do another story, and they kind of deal with it in the same way. Maybe they'll do it more of a promotional push, but I feel like if it's World of Final Fantasy 2, unless the game is, like, unless they... Because that's the thing, like, obviously, World of Final Fantasy didn't get the best lead up or anything like that. They didn't really promote it that much. Maybe with the second one, if it's coming out, then maybe they will. Maybe it can sell more than 800,000 copies. Maybe 800,000 is like the worst case scenario.
Really?
But as we've typically seen, the sequels, unless something special happens, they don't sell as well. I think Kingdom Hearts 2 sold more than Kingdom Hearts 1 though, right?
Possibly.
I'm sure Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to sell really well because they've been pushing it so hard and because people have been waiting so long.
Yeah. I know, Kingdom Hearts 3 is just insane at the moment. But yeah, no, I mean, it will be interesting to see how this does, but either way, I'm just excited. I think World of Final Fantasy is a step in the good direction.
I feel like as well, like the name of the game has been a hindrance. And you know, we were looking at we recently did a video looking at the like unsung directors of Final Fantasy, and you know, one of them was the guy who created. He had a really big hand in the Mana franchise and also the Saga franchise. And obviously, those games both started off as Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
One of them was Final Fantasy Adventure, and the other one was the Final Fantasy Legacy, I think it is.
Yeah.
But after that first game, they changed the name of the franchise to something else completely different. So obviously, it became Mana and Saga. You know, I can't see them doing it, but maybe that's what they could do with World of Final Fantasy if they want to branch it away. Because I feel like Kingdom Hearts has done well because they called it Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Like if they'd have just called it at that back in those days, World of Final Fantasy or World of Disney or something like that, like it would have just been. I don't think it would have done as well.
Yeah.
because we've seen it with other kind of like crossover games they made. Or like Ergies didn't sell particularly well as like a beat 'em up, I know, but like they just haven't.
I guess they were really probably just trying to sell on the fact that it had Final Fantasy in the title, because I mean, like with Kingdom Hearts, I guess they weren't. They were really trying to pick it up as its own thing, whereas World of Final Fantasy is really just a sort of. They wanted to position it as a tribute game, like solely, whereas Kingdom Hearts is always kind of its own thing.
I just don't feel like that's enough.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I get what you mean.
The Final Fantasy franchise is big, but you know, we saw a couple of games coming out around that time where they were really trying to big up the fact that we're tribute games. Like Final Fantasy Explorers was obviously the other one.
Yeah.
It didn't do very well though, and I think it's just because the USP was it's a Final Fantasy compilation game. Like, we're bringing everything together, guys. There wasn't really anything else that was like, and we're doing this cool stuff. Because obviously Kingdom Hearts, we've got the new world, it's an action RPG,
and
which we've never really seen before.
Yeah, it was a story that was
Disney characters
based around Sora and his adventures, and and like you said, like the Disney aspect really did kind of play second fiddle to Sora's story, whereas in World of Final Fantasy you really do have side scenes with the characters, and you sort of see different sides of each of the characters from the different games. I mean, like Titus and Yuna having little side scenes and that kind of thing. So it is like a different story. But I don't know. Either way, I'm excited. But we have more news to talk about.
We don't have that much more news.
I know, we have some.
We don't have. Look, I told you before, Lauren. It's just saying this game released.
Okay.
We should talk more about World of Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Stop trying to move us. I'm not ready yet.
Sorry.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think, like, you know, in the when we covered this on YouTube and we did a small announcement video, I did say at the time that in a way I'm glad that Hiroki Chiba has come back to like he's back in the limelight. Like he's doing something. We're aware he's doing something. He hasn't been locked away in one of the caves that Square Enix likes to put their directors in that have disappeared. But I'm also kind of disappointed because
he's not working on something else.
Exactly. Like, you know, I was really hoping that since Tabata's wanting to move away, Nomura's tied up for years with the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that like Hiroki Chiba would, or someone like that, would be given the opportunity to work on Final Fantasy 16, and not necessarily as the director, but Hiroki Chiba he can write a mean story.
Well, it just seems like they're doing that a lot with the mobile games at the moment anyway. Like, the fact that, I mean, you have such heavy hitters like Toriyama and stuff, like, and Nojima working on Mobius. Like, it really seems like
Watanabe is working on Mobius as well.
Like, yeah, they're moving, like, some of their biggest people within their teams to mobile titles anyway. So... yeah, but I completely get what you mean. But maybe this is just a thing. Maybe this is just another way for Chiba to sort of prove himself, but using his already existing IP. And maybe he does want to still stick with it, because it obviously is his, like, sort of baby. And I think he did a really good job with it as well. I can't see anybody else picking it up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, Nomura, Kingdom Hearts was his thing. Like, that was his opportunity to branch away from the... like, basically working on Final Fantasy his whole life.
That's pretty much all he's done.
But he still ended up working on Final Fantasy his whole life.
I know.
But, like, at least it was something that he could... yeah, like,
but these are the only games that he's directed.
Yeah, like, it was his way of creating something unique. And, like as you said, maybe Chiba sees this as his thing.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, you could say the same about Tabata.
Yeah.
Like, Type 0 was the thing that he made.
Yeah.
But then obviously he was given that opportunity with 15. If 15 hadn't existed, I reckon he would have been continuing with the Type franchise.
I think so too. I definitely think so too.
I don't know where, because it would probably come out in the beta, I guess.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, essentially he was the portable division since he moved to work on Final Fantasy 15. I don't think they've released another portable game on a Sony system. The only one they did was Final Fantasy Explorers, which was directed by someone else.
But yeah, no,
I don't think they have.
Say it
Right,
again.
my
What
brain.
were you
I
trying
don't think they've released a Final Fantasy game on the Vita.
They released World of Final Fantasy on the Vita.
Yeah, but that was kind of a PS4 primary, like I mean, like an exclusive.
Oh, an exclusive. Yeah, no, they haven't. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Vita's been completely canned now, hasn't it? But it's really sad. The Vita was so good. I love the Vita.
I feel like they did. I feel like they released some games. I just don't know if they released a Final Fantasy game on the Vita exclusively. Because obviously the remastered Final Fantasy X remasters on there.
I honestly can't think of one. Not recently, at least. But like, I know it's just a shame. By the way, like, yeah, like this is cheapest thing. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe we don't know what his aspirations are. Like, I feel like with Tabata, all of this was leading up to him doing his own thing anyway. Like, he just wanted to do his own thing. And now he's sort of gotten himself in the situation where he can do it, although he's still delaying it anyway by saying, no, I want to finish Final Fantasy 15. And just like, oh, just leave it alone. Just go away from it. Just do your own IP. But Chiba doesn't seem to be, maybe he's not someone who wants to do his own IP. Maybe this is what he wants to do, which is also fine. I mean, like, you know, Nomura wanted to do his own IP, so he just did it. He just stuck with it. Like, maybe this is what Chiba wants.
Yeah, I guess it's just a shame that he wasn't able to.
Oh, I selected the wrong one.
His own IP. He had to latch onto the Final Fantasy IP.
But with that in mind, he did a really good job with it. I mean, like, honestly, I'm not that far in, but like,
He's playing for an hour.
I know, but like
it's
the
the best
writing,
game ever, guys.
but like the writing in it is so on point, and the voice acting in it is so on point. And I know that that's not directly related to Chiba, but like, I already feel
The writing
immersed in it, and I already feel like it's got that charm. It's got that Final Fantasy charm down, and that is all I wanted from Final Fantasy 15, and really any of the recent Final Fantasy games. Like, Final Fantasy, I mean, playing through Final Fantasy X, it's all about the charm. It's all about the cute, little, funny, witty moments.
Yeah, and the serious moments too.
Seriousness. There's the serious moments, but ultimately it's about having a good time at the end of the day. And I think that World of Final Fantasy is having a freaking good time. It's having a whale of a time. And I really love that about it. And I love what Chiba is.
Well, this might take a little bit of time.
It. And I mean, you know, the only other person who I think kind of does that is Yoshida. Like, I feel like with Final Fantasy 14, that kind of gets it as well. There's definitely a lot of silly moments in Final Fantasy 14. And, you know, you could kind of argue that Final Fantasy 14 is a bit of a similar deal. Like, Yoshida's kind of essentially just... He has his own story, obviously, but he is just kind of doing a tribute game as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, even when he said to me, like, they want to try and leverage the Final Fantasy franchise where they can, because that's what people know, it's what they're familiar with.
Exactly.
And if they can, if there are the small instances where they can do something new, then sure, they'll go for it. But most of the time, it's a case of just trying to latch onto that nostalgia.
Yeah, and, hey, it's better to be a director of something than to be a director of nothing.
Very true, Lauren.
Yeah.
Very true. So
And
now
wise.
I think we're ready
should
to
put me in
move
a
on,
museum.
Lauren. We're ready to move on, I think.
I should be a tiny booba.
But we should mention that actually, wow, this news mention, the news section is going to be short. I'm sorry, it's just like...
We'll elongate it.
We can try.
We can
Well, I mean, the first story is that Final Fantasy 15 Comrades actually did release, finally, after 2 delays. It did now release, and people have been playing it.
And people have been enjoying it, seems like.
I mean, like,
Making
I
their
think
own
it got a pretty decent push. Like, I saw a lot of the big publications talking about it and trying to push it out.
Well, of course. But yeah,
no, they didn't have to.
No, I guess not. But like, I think there's a lot of surprises that came out of it. I mean, there's a character who I will not name because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but
there's a Kingslayer character who voiced over the trailer.
Yeah, and he is actually in the game as well. Gender neutral. This person is actually in the game as well. Crap. I just gave it a little.
Lauren is the world's worst person for spoilers.
I am. I like. Daryl was saying earlier about Stranger Things, and I was just like, blah, 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 this happened, and he's just like, that hasn't happened in my watch through yet, and I was just like, crap.
It's good work.
Crap.
So yeah, that came out. I haven't really been paying it too much attention to what's actually been going on with it. I just know it came out.
People keep asking us about it. I mean, like, I keep having to sort of deflect and be like, I'm sorry, we're not playing it. Please stop asking me, so I have to stop saying this depressing answer, but we're not playing DLC. But, yeah, I mean, like, there is a part of me that would like to sort of take part in the fun, just to design my own character and stuff. But, it does look fun. On top of that, we have Monster of the Deep. Oh my god, I know you've been waiting so long for that game.
So long.
Oh, you just want to get your fishing rod out.
I've been waiting since it was announced.
And catch some of those monsters of the deep.
So what's the actual news, Lauren? You just keep saying Monster of the Deep.
I did say, it actually released.
Yeah. Again, after delay.
Yeah. And actually, there's already been a VR fishing game. How is there already a VR fishing game before Final Fantasy 15 Monster of the Deep?
Yeah. And I mean, like, the good thing is that they
is there
finally...
a massive market for people who want to fish?
Yeah, of
through
course.
VR?
Of course. I mean, yeah.
Can't they just go to a lake?
The good thing here is that they started to realize that they were actually a joke by producing this game. I think originally they were being quite serious about it. But
we're really serious about our fishing.
Yeah, they started doing these really silly infomercials and stuff, and so that came out. If you are one of the 5 people that bought it, then I hope you're having fun with it. We have been asking people, because I think there's only a couple of million people top that have bought the PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
How many of them are interested in Monsters? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
at least in this way, it doesn't hurt the fishies.
very few people in our community actually purchased that game that we're aware of.
Yeah.
So hopefully you are having a grand time with it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Detracting what I was saying earlier, I really do feel like if you want to get a fishing experience, you should get a fishing VR game.
Yeah, not everyone can go fishing.
But it's also very painful for the fishies as well, I was just thinking.
It's true.
Like, it's horrible for the fishies, isn't it? You just, like, stick a freaking hook in their mouth, catch it, and then throw it back in the river. Like, what? You're not even going to eat it? You're just going to throw it back after you... Here you go, here's a new lip ring. There you go.
Yeah.
So this way you don't have to do that anymore.
It saves some money.
It does. Well, kind of. You have to buy the VR set.
No,
it's quite expensive.
for the lip ring piercing.
But either way, yes, it's for, animal cruelty. This is a much more humane way of fishing.
Okay, so what's our next amazing story, Laura?
Our next amazing story is the fact that there was a Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age update, which included...
No. It was announced on a live stream.
Oh, it was announced on a live stream. See,
Lauren has been keeping up with this information, you can tell. She's all about the Zodiac Age.
Oh my god, I so am. Actually, I was surprised one night when I was just like turning on the PS4. There's a Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age update? What could they possibly be updating?
So basically, with the PS4 version of the game, they removed the Sky Pirates Den because with the new... Obviously, when Final Fantasy XII came out originally, trophies didn't exist. So the Sky Pirates Den was where they had the trophies, or the equivalent of trophies. But they took it out of the PlayStation 4 version because they didn't need it.
Yeah.
So now they decided that they're going to add it back in because people were complaining about the fact it wasn't there anymore.
I want to know But to be fair, I mean, like, is it a situation where like you could go in and see and just sort of see what you've done?
Yeah, it was like little physical trophies that like appeared in the den.
Because Nier had that.
Yeah.
And they also had PlayStation 3 trophies.
Yeah. No, they literally just took it out because they didn't think people would want it.
Yeah.
It just seemed... Yeah, because...
Oh, he's upstairs,
I like
actually.
See my trophies.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's how I'm talking to
So
social.
that's why they've added back in again.
Yeah.
It's taken them, 4 months?
Yeah.
Actually, I'll just have it throw in the fridge. It's a fruit plate,
It's like
right?
with Isaac. Like, I like going back and seeing like what I've done with Isaac as well.
They also announced... Well, they released the PlayStation 4 theme in Japan. I think it may have been released elsewhere now. I've seen people downloading it, either that
Oh,
or
hey, just put that in the fridge,
and they reiterated
I'm
the
not,
fact that
I'm not
someone
gonna
getting
have it right
copies.
now.
We knew that anyway. I think we discussed it on maybe last podcast before.
fridge.
And thanked everyone for that. And that was pretty much it.
Yay!
And also, the weird thing was they started releasing trailers for the game. Like, they barely released any trailers for the game before it actually released, but now they just released 2 more. I think one of them was like a 4-minute trailer
Jeez.
trying to promote the fact you should buy the game, and it's like, but it came out 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Japanese one kind of made a bit more sense because it was saying like thanks to all the million people that bought it.
But
The Western one did not.
Kind of like,
There was no
buy it.
yeah, it was just like it's an amazing story. Like you're gonna go to all these places and there's blah blah blah. It's like yeah, but we know that.
yeah,
We know that.
they're just relying on the fact that
I think I checked it, and like the trailer after like 4 days on the official like Final Fantasy YouTube channel for North America, I think had only had like 1,000 views or 2,000. Like it was. I don't get it.
No.
And
this
our
way.
final story is that World of Final Fantasy, which we were obviously talking about quite significantly, has now been released on PC.
Yay! I'm liking it so far, despite the fact
again,
that
though, right? Going back
Yeah.
to our entire discussion, before,
Yeah.
right? Clearly, World of Final Fantasy on
I
PC
did.
is going to sell better in the West than in Japan,
Yeah.
right? You'd like to think. They've announced Melee Mellow literally to the day when they released the PC version of World of Final Fantasy. You'd think that given the interest that the PC release would generate, that people would be interested in expanding it, maybe playing something else. I don't know.
Yeah. Especially those who have already played the game before.
But only in Japan.
Yeah.
Only
no,
in Japan.
Only in Japan. Only in Japan. But no, I'm really liking the PC version. I think it's really nice. I think the graphics look really good.
But we have been getting many questions, and the answer is it's not 60 frames per second.
It's not 60 frames per second.
I don't know how many people asked you that in your first stream.
I
A
know.
lot.
I know,
I don't
so
know why
many.
that's such an important thing.
I don't know
But I'm not
either.
a graphics
I think,
anymore.
like,
I don't really care that much.
No, I've never been one to care about that kind of thing. I mean, if it's like severely laggy and like jagged, like sure, you know, that's kind of important. Like I don't want my game to look like poo. But like honestly, I could give 2 S's about whether or not the game is 60 frames per second. As long as it's functional and I don't feel like I'm having a terrible time with it, I'm happy. Like, The Sims 4 right now is freaking pissing me right off. The fact that I keep trying to install it and it's just like, no.
Because EA.
I know. EA sucks. EA sucks. I like Steam. I do like Steam.
EA are just in everyone's bad books right now.
I know.
They're constantly in everyone's bad book until another company does something worse.
Come
and the
on.
cycle continues again.
I know. Go, Steam. Never let me down, please.
Yeah.
Never let me down.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about with regards to the World of Final Fantasy releasing on PC? I probably should have looked up how many people have actually purchased it so far.
Yeah,
I don't have that off the top of my head. Sorry.
Shame, Daryl.
I reckon it's going to be at least 100,000.
A lot of people on my chat have been saying about getting it and stuff. Yeah, I'm excited. I think that it's nice that there's some people who are rebuying it, or maybe people who want to check it out for the first time. Honestly, like I say, if you're thinking about getting it, definitely give it a go, because it's a fun game. It's a fun experience, I think. And
It's turn-based.
it's turn-based as well. It's what everybody wants. Yay! Classic Final Fantasy. And there's a fast-forward button as well.
Yeah, that was the best part about that game.
So good.
Okay, so that's pretty much what we got for today. We're now going to go on to our music segment. After lots of hunting around, I did manage to find an arrangement of a World of Final Fantasy track. Took me a long
Good job,
time,
Daryl.
actually. So the original song is Plaza 99, like the one which is kind of like not the world map thing, but it's basically their kind of their hometown.
It's so sweet.
Yes. Bum, 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 bum.
I know.
Anyway, and it's by Arathrum. it's a guitar version of it, like a rock guitar version of it. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. The next episode of Final Fantasy Union is scheduled to come out on the 12th of December, and it's actually going to be our last podcast of the year because the one after that will be coming out on the 26th of December, which we're not too keen on. That would be the day after Christmas, and
yeah, we will be in every summer.
Yeah, lots of food, and I'm sure you guys will be eating lots of food as well.
If you celebrate, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Of course, if you subscribe to Final Fantasy Union at Kingdom Hearts Union on the iTunes store, then you can get all the podcasts we've ever released, and also you will get notifications about future ones. Just search for Final Fantasy, and we will be there or thereabouts. Also, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Final Fantasy Union Videos, and join the almost 35,000 subscribers that we have now. We've actually decided to do cool new videos about the origins of the characters. So far we have covered Sephiroth and Cloud Strife. Everyone seems to be really digging those. We've also got another video coming up soon about Final Fantasy VII and like some really cool things that you probably didn't know about that are very rare and random. They really are.
Yeah.
They really are. And of course, if you want to catch all our news coverage that's done by Braden, be sure to check out FunFantasyMedia.com. Again, he's posting lots of very, very good stuff again. But also, yeah,
that's what's happening.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, well, Melly Mellow is supposed to release this year. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get some updates around that when it actually happens. It may get delayed. Every other game gets delayed.
It's just Final Fantasy's sort of mantra. Let's get delayed.
And of course, if you want to support us on Patreon, please head over to patreon.com/ff_union. I mean, as I said, we do a monthly giveaway, so if you want to get in the giveaway, all you got to do is support us, and you may win, like Simon Cooperman did this month.
Yay!
Alright, bye time, Lauren.
Bye everyone.
And I'm Daryl saying,
I actually didn't think I was going to pull that one off. So yeah, I think maybe I should go over this really quick before I call it a video. So I had Fairy Stars 27. I have basically 4 Kyries working. 2 actual Kyries and 2 copy medals. I have a 0.2 Kyrie. That's just because it's a single hit, and it's actually is my best single hit speed medal. Excuse me. And I needed 1 heavy hitter, so I went with that. And you buy it? And as you can see, somebody in my party has a HD IRA that's boosted, which is a single hit, so you're probably, in other words, you're probably going to need one of these foreteller medals to get through this event, probably. And of course I had a second chance on her, so yeah, so good luck getting through that. That was like real pain in the butt, but I made it, so good luck to you. Alright, call it a video. Thanks for watching. Bye.